ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practices rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for elo farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis with lengthy game analysis. With sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. Now he locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. Young prodigies and some wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work will work, work never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work will work, work never stop. Now occasionally he peeps the world of the tweak and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing while he's dojo training. Hours a day playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion. He never takes vacation, the work is entertaining, the growth he's maintaining. And now Joe is explaining, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Welcome to the dojo.
Welcome to the dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the clout is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin. Who cheated who, which engine that he packing. He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvork, but he can't be wrong. He scored a like from Truon. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes. True, not over the board, it's only the other chat. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practices rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for elo farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis with lengthy game analysis. With sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. Now he locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. boxes, young prodigies and some wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. Now occasionally, he peeps the world of the tweet and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing while he's dojo training. Hours a day playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion. He never takes vacation, the work is entertaining, the growth he's maintaining. And now Joe is explaining, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Welcome to the dojo!
Welcome to the dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the clout is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he's got more follows than my boy Aragaisi. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin. Who cheated who, which engine
That
did he
ain't
hacking?
Mouse.
He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvork, but he can't be wrong. He scored a like from Truan. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes, true not over the board. It's only the other chat. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless. He rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction. The status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practice his rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for elo farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis with lengthy game analysis. With sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. Now he locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. Young prodigies and some wily old foxes.
All right, my friends, here we go. I obviously need to make a jadoop. Bam! There we are. So, this is day 2 of the graduation show. Sometimes I need more than one day to do it. And I think I might have to step away again. Let's just see if I do. Because the dog's losing his mind, that means somebody's coming up, gonna bother me. In any case, we're just gonna relax and sit in for a little bit of a longer show here. We got some stuff to do. Now we're gonna start with the famous Rookie, who's been here before. Rookie says, I spent a lot of time in this cohort and made a big effort on tactics, endgame fundamentals, and study of serious classical games in the Chernev books and from other annotated games in the dojo. I've completed a number of books and have had ups and downs in the road to long-term improvement. I've suffered at times with rating fixation, tilt, and then I give myself a slap in the face and tell myself to focus on the fundamentals, and the results will come and speak for themselves. The dojo is a great framework for me to fall back on quality materials and grind away at training. There's no easy way to improve in anything worthwhile, and chess is a case in point. And I'm going to look at this one particular game. Actually, I'll give a shout out to myself and the dojo. We are going to start a class tomorrow on the Chernev book, Logical Chess Move by Move. That book, people have loved it through the years in the dojo, so we're going to go through it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. If you missed the first class too, no big deal. I think we're going to, if people are into it, I'm going to try to continue it for a considerable period of time. Okay, so this guy, we're going to look for that. Here's rookie. Right, Canada, beautiful. And I've been a lot of places in Canada, but Ontario is not familiar to me, really. Definitely not Burlington. Oh, now I have to look. I just learned about Prince Edward Island yesterday, so now I'm into like learning a little bit more. Burlington, oh yeah. Actually, I have been very close to Burlington, actually. So I've been to Kitchener and Toronto. So when I imagine, he said Ontario, I was imagining, when he said Burlington, you know, in American hears Burlington, they think of Burlington, Vermont, and that's just way up there. Whereas here, that's where all of Canada lives, in that area over there. I played in the Canadian Open 2005 in Kitchener. I think it was 2005 anyway. Okay, so here we go. His rating is a little plateaued, I guess you might say, from the Canadian. It seems like he's working on it. Here is Rookie's, Rookie is working on it. Look at that. Very intense. You can see, like me, he's going through periods of games and game review. I'm assuming it's the orange, and then here he's in a tactical period. Now, he's graduating himself. I guess he could have graduated himself a while back. So, in any case, let's go look at this game that he's talking about. Now, it should be everything in my games. So I'm going to hope, there it is. Boom. Now this is, right. All right. First, do we got a time graph? Holy moly. Look at that bad boy right there. Look at that thing. So I love the time graph feature. If we didn't have the time graph feature, I would be going over this game and not really have a sense that was going on. So maybe someone lost a piece at move 20, but then why did it last to move 80? So we're going to leave this open for a second. He doesn't mention anything about time in the notes. All right. To me, right away, that's the story, even though I don't know anything about the game yet. So, fine. Now, knight e7 is a little weird because queen e7 is a developing move and knight takes e7 is not. All right, this move looks superficial to me, knight g5. It's not even threatening anything because he can play knight f6. So knight g5, not a great move. And what would be better? Castles. Queen c2, he's going through some cheap shots. You can always play h6 at any point. Bad move. And now bad move. E takes d5. Now, who's making these great notes? This is Sweatgland when you are at the dojo, you can have other people can make notes to your games. Sweatgland should say why he likes ed5, though. And the point is twofold. With ed5, we keep the c file closed, and more importantly, we activate our bishop. Well, they're both important because after cd and he does this, well, then all of a sudden I got to deal with queen c7. I think he's still fine, though. Good. Holy moly. This is a little too much because you're not doing anything, buddy. You're not threatening nada. That isn't it. Queen b1. Now, White's pieces are all discombobulated, okay? And one of the things we want to say about this queen a5 move that you do is maybe, but I want to know, did you see b4 coming? That's one of the things I want to see. A move that we should really think about too is bishop b5, check to the miserable king. That's not even check, excuse me. it's a prevention of castling. All right, here we go. Queen a5. Queen a6 looks good to me here. Queen a3, okay. He goes back. What is he supposed to do? Nobody knows. This move makes no sense to me. What are we doing? Now, I'm assuming that you said to yourself, I can't do rook ac8 because he'll take and f7 will hang. But let's just play that thought out for a second. Boom, boom. I don't think he can take here. I think he's going to get wasted on c1. So bishop, queen a4, no bueno. His pieces are all discombobulated. It's time to waste him. It's time to waste him. Some kind of rook c8. So I don't even understand what the point of queen a4 is. King g8. And this is very frisky on his part to be taking these pawns. Okay, good. That isn't it. King f8. He just keeps on dislocating his bishop on h7. Thank you. And now, do we really have to take the thing? That's my question. I guess the truth of the matter is it's bad for him either way. Yeah, but we gotta say this is miserable for him. Let's do just a quick variation here. So queen c2 you played in 8 seconds. Okay, can we just pause here for a second? Wait, look at the side graph. You've got a position here that's potentially winning, and you play queen c2 in 8 seconds. And for reasons that are unclear to me, you and your opponent have just completely stopped thinking. Just completely at this point. Knight h7, queen h7, bishop b5 looks like a hell of a question to me. That's a hell of a question. There's no more castling. I'm about to rage you. That's the raging Cajun or whatever you want to call it. You no puedo play no more. You no puedo play no more. Okay, so takes. Okay. And here you're definitely moving too fast. He's moving too fast. He's got to play king e. Well, he's allowing you to play knight e4 with check. Holy moly! And now the game's over. Sweatgland correctly says bishop takes d1 as a question. What are we doing? We're playing so fast here. You've got a knight c3 game ender here. Why aren't you just playing rook takes d1? What are we doing? Welcome to the dojo. Game over. My friend, why are you moving so fast? Slow down. You move too fast. You gotta make the morning last now. Kicking it down and feeling groovy. Feeling groovy. Why does this game last so long? All right, I'm assuming it's over. I don't know why it took so long, but he eventually mates him like this. Okay, my friend, the story is on the left-hand side there. There's a lot, both players moving way too fast. Okay, good. We'll mark that as reviewed. Next up, we have David Gentiel. David doesn't say much over here. Let's just give him a click and see what's going on. Born in Italy, but now live in the U.S. Bachelor in AI. That's probably computer science, but now maybe they just call it AI. This man is busy, dude. He's busy. 24 years old and he's already got a kid. Dang. Just started playing chess. That's an amazing story. Now, I do remember David a little bit. He has gaining rating points pretty good, and he's almost ready to graduate again. He's in the Coder Club. Okay, good. Now, David, you want to help us out at the dojo? We got a job for you, buddy. I assume you got your own jobs, but it would be cool to have you around with your help if you wanted to help out. All right, here we go. I think this is our business, and this looks good. So this is an OTB game. Uh-oh, this is very light on the annotations. Hold on. Let's see if we got something else. Okay, we got some notes here. Maybe the other one. By the way, we had an upset person recently where they said, I graduated and stuff, and he didn't do any annotations, so I didn't do it. And he was like, I feel like I'm cheated. And I kind of felt for him. Because, when we never actually, maybe we should advertise that this is kind of a thing of the dojo, that, I do this graduation show. But it's not even listed anywhere. But I think some people have come to understand it as like one of the perks of the dojo. In a sense, I guess that's what it's become. But it's not written somewhere like, only if you go over your game, and it's kind of recent, will Cry actually look at it. So, Cry, maybe you need to put it into the meeting. So I'm just going to add a little note to myself here. Clarify grad show. We have a meeting every Friday, so I just go over a little note to myself. All right, here we go. So, first thing we want to say, both players moving too fast. We're going to keep the time window open. Luckily, the dojo player is going a lot slower. All right. So now we're transposing into a advanced Karo. And C takes D4 is a mild inaccuracy because you are enabling the white knight to go to C3. But bishop E2 isn't it? Good move. Good move. And the problem that black or white has here, and I love this move, bishop F3. The problem that white has here is that black just has an amazing French now with his bad bishop gone. Fine. Though, let's just say the safe move here is just bishop E7, like a normal person. I don't like queen B4. Maybe I don't like actually queen B6 if knight A4 is so annoying. Because A3 is a good move for him. Now here he says he's disappointed in bishop F3, but it's not bishop F3 that's the problem. It's this move here. Because if you can't go queen B5 or queen A6, which enables bishop E2, then we shouldn't be playing queen B6 at all. So bishop E7 is the better move. You're still doing fine, just go back to D8 or something. No, I don't like this. So now this is a problem because now you're going to develop the rook and give him support for E3. Now this is very frisky, B5. White should consider queen C2 here. And this is what you're doing is you're helping white open the position while you have not castled yet. Big mistake though from white. Huge positional mistake, queen takes B4. Put the queen anywhere. That's the most natural square. And you're looking at this guy. Your king needs a lot of time to castle. It's a problem. It's officially a problem. So horrendous move. And now we can say, oh, black's king is actually castled. And now when you do this, that's a nice move for you because now you get to play king D7, no problemo. And now this is not a good move. White should at least consider bishop E2, giving you a little heartache over here. That looks good. Thank you very much. Good move. This makes me a little nervous Bishop h6 looks to be the safer move. Well, if he wants to give it to you, take it. Thank you very much. And good. Is this good? No. All right, let's go back. So we got ourselves into a little bit of trouble here. And now you talk about rook b4, rook ad1 being a problem. Yeah. So this is the move that is played too fast. Well, several moves. The whole thing has been played too fast. Notice that white's barely thinking at all. This is the kind of thing where you've got a winning position. Your opponent, look what he's done to his bishop. That bishop's dead. He just put it up against a wall. And he moved his own rook away from the f-file. So at a bare minimum with bishop f2, you got to be worried, oh crud, is this going to hang? And then that's a good move on your opponent's part. And you got a little trouble. I wish you had analyzed rook b4 a little more. But it's true that maybe we are just crispy critters over here. Now, however you want to slice it, we got to say rook a b8 here, 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 here. We got to say we still believe in the black position. Is it complicated? It is, but we're going to take this bad boy, and we got 4 pawns. That's 4 pawns. All right, so that's a key miss. Now, are we lost? It looks bad. Check. All right, I think we're toast. Oh, it's not toast. He fell for your trap. Okay. I'm just thinking if you could set some other dastardly thing up. Now, because h5 is a terrible move because now the pawn has no chance to advance. d2 is a terrible move. So in general, you know, it's probably no chance for you here objectively. But what should be stressed is you play here. Keep your pawns in the light squares. Put your king here. Put this other pawn in the light square. He can't advance. Once you play d2, then there's no way for you to advance. But imagine here, I don't know, let's go here, here, I don't know, here. He shouldn't lose this, but he's got to be a little careful. If we get the pawn to e2 and put our bishop here, then we have this old friend. We're the one pressing here. After d2, nobody's pressing. Nobody. Right? The standard way to get a draw. Okay, so main feature, people moving too fast. Okay, that's the main feature of this game that should be noted. And it was. All right, Cry, leave him alone. Leave him alone, bud. Next up, we got Mexican Monkey. I like that name. I struggled to find time for annotations last year, but now I've blocked out time for it every week. I'm fully committed to reaching 30 analyses this season. All right, beautiful. Let's go look at the Mexican Monkey. There he is. Mexican Monkey. He's doing a lot of tactics, as you can see. Looks like a New Year's resolution kind of thing as well, right? He's committed. Now, interestingly, though he's the Mexican Monkey, he is got a Dutch rating. Let's see what clubs he's got. He's in the Dutch dojo. So even though he's a Mexican monkey, he might be a little bit of a Dutch Mexican monkey, if you know what I mean. The Dutch people give themselves all kinds of names, too, you know. It's really interesting names that they give each other. There's several Dutch people named Pablo or something like that. They they don't care. They don't care over there. All right, here we go. This is the Mexican monkey who is also known as Cas van Noort. Now you got a van. That means you're a fancy person in Holland. That means you're nobility. So, Cas from the north doesn't have a time graph. Would help. Let's go and hit the game review button. Ba-boom. And I'm sure I got to make a shadoob on the game review button. Let's go here. That's Cas van Noort. Okay, make sure no one's yelling at me over here. All right. Ba-boom. Ba-boom. Can we get one more ba-boom, Jesse? Let's get one more ba-boom. Thank you very much. Here we go. Matthias Blume. Mistake. Now, when I was a kid, it was generally thought that this was already an advantage for white. But then people understood that, like, oh, maybe I can play g6 and wait for knight c3, and then knight takes d5, transposing to a Grunfeld. But this is definitely a mistake. Thank you very much. Bishop d2 is maybe unnecessary, but okay. That's soft. e4, good move. And we're dealing with somebody who doesn't know about development. Good move. Good move. I thought for a second he was going to take on b2. You played knight d5. Welcome to the dojo. Goodbye. Good. Good. Take it. Thank you very much. Simple chess. a4 is good. e6, yeah, good. Little weird. You could play e6, you could play a4. It looks like you're obsessed with knight g5. Okay. Well, you got a number of wins here, my friend. So I think what you're missing on ef6, bishop f6. Here it goes. After turning on Stockfish, I missed the obvious move, queen d7. Okay. By the way, great process, right? When you look at these games, it should be without the computer, and then after, feel free to look with the computer. Right. Now here he says he missed, I think they don't call it a Läufer like the Germans, they call it a Loper. That's the L. The Loper takes, he means h4. But now we're Lopering it up pretty good here. Well, it's hard to argue with that one. You know, you're crushing him so hard here, it's hard to argue. Check to the miserable king. And then he resigns. Okay, good. Hubskirt says good pronunciation. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. All right, let's go back. We'll mark this as reviewed. And now we got Lewis. Lewis over here doesn't tell us anything. Lewis doesn't have any games marked. So this is a new thing. Looks like Lewis is new. But basically, for the lubrication of the grad show, what I'm going to try to do is not look too deeply at profiles. Like, you know, here, I'm going to just double. See, look, it says he's got games. No, he's got no games. And these are rapid games. So basically, that little number here should tell me that he's got 0 games. Now, there was an exception yesterday. That's why I checked. But in general, with the grad show, I just want to briefly, you know, if there's no annotated games, I kind of want to fly by it. So, Lewis, great that you're here, bud. And hopefully we can get some work logged and some games in there. Next up, we got Yolo Chess. Excited to graduate again. This might be the last easy one, as I found my online and in-person chess ratings plateauing a bit recently, but still enjoying the journey. A couple games reviews to look at in my games are Emily Chen or David Lee. Will do. Now, let's just say the obvious. The higher you go, the more competitive it's going to be, right? And yeah, it'll get tough. And you can see if somebody's done 145 points of work, well, that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. All right, so here's Yolo Chess. they're enjoying. I would, they might have had a plateau a little bit before, but you can see they've got a nice little thing going on now. And since September, beautiful work being done. But 3 graduations, that's no chump change right there. Based on their ChessCom rating, we expect maybe they will even graduate again in the near future. Over there in the Chicagoland, okay. My games. So, let me see. He said Emily Chen or David Lee. I think that's this guy here. Let's look. I'm going to assume that's David Lee here, David L. And let's see, do we got a time graph? We don't. Again, I encourage you guys to do the time graph. Boom, let's go to this game review thing. I did a course on Chessable called An Aggressive Repertoire for White, according to the dojo. And here I like Queen D2 better, primarily because we're not really afraid of Knight G4 anytime super soon. So we might as well play Queen D2 first. Okay. And now E5. So, it is an interesting move. Yeah, and so B4 necessary for black to find. If we had clocks, for example, it would be good to know what the timestamps were. If B4 works here for black, then E5 is definitely a mistake, right? And the bummer, of course, is B4, snip, snap, and he's got a threat on the queen. That's our little bummerito right there. And if we lose the E4 pawn, that's a big pawn, and then black gets a lot of central control. And that's miserable right there. That's miserable. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bishop G2 is a weird move. By the way, your bishop on F1 is developed if as long as the rook on H1 does something. So another move that makes sense could be H4. I kind of like Knight E4 too. I don't want to see Queen A5, even though it's not that scary. There she comes. That kind of encourages you to go to E4. Good. Now the bummer here is H4. I'm certain you're still winning, right? But it's true, like he gets this move now, and all of a sudden it's a little tricky. But this is a good move. You're still winning this game. Thank you very much. F4. And now you play Knight C3 like a mad person. Bishop C3 is really just a chump move. He's not doing nothing to you. You can play anything. Move your queen somewhere. Oh, no. Check the miserable king. Check. Oh, that was terrible. Now, we should be said, actually, if this is the best that black has, then I actually don't mind it that much what you did. Because rook takes b2. We're up a piece. We're up a piece. Good. Simple chess. Simple chess. Goodbye. They should resign. Check to the miserable king. Okay, Yolo Chess. That was pretty good, man. That was pretty good. I think you can see that you are the stronger player here, and the timestamps would be great for you to start doing, because E5 and Knight H5, we want to have a look and see what if people were thinking, because this is a very tight, hot position, and there's very little room for inaccuracies on either side, right? So this is where we have to be super exact. And then once we get here, it should be game over. It was arguably a little bit too, I had too much stress looking at it from here. Here we should end it, you know? it should be over quickly. All right, well done. Let's go back to the grad show. So next up, we've got Krishna, who has graduated a number of times. No games, though. Take a quick look at Krishna's profile. From Mumbai. Nice. I'm really pumped to have more Indian players here. It's one of the demographics we don't really have too much of in the dojo yet. Is there a Club India? So, oh yeah, okay. Krishna, couple requests. Obviously, we want you to put more stuff into your heat map, to submit some games, and we want not only an India club, but a Mumbai club. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. All right, that's my humble request to you, Krishna. Next up, we got Socratic. Socratic also doesn't have any games. We'll take a quick look. By the way, when I say it doesn't have any games, I think the the algorithm has been set that you might have ancient games, but if it's only going to show me games if like something recent happened, like a game in the last couple months that you've submitted. Okay, so congratulations, and you know we could see you're a man of passions. You had a good bit here, and then recently you had some stuff going on using the chess comp. Tell us something about yourself, Socratic. All right, now we have GD Chess. GD Chess has graduated a number of times, but doesn't say much about themselves here. Not logging too much, but I do think they have some games, so let's go take a look. All right, so interestingly, it doesn't say when this was created. All right. Oh no, this is from 2023. Oh no, hold on. Let's go check out this one. It's also 2023. Maybe that's why it wasn't registered. Yeah, so just in general, when I do these game reviews, it's important to me that we have good annotations, which he has here, and also that they're fairly recent. Okay, next up, oh, we got a big one here. This one's Skevix. Skevix is a very busy man. Let's read what he writes. It has been a long grind, but a fun one. I graduated but had to demote myself. Now I'm back. I've been playing a bit more every year. From 4 classical OTB in 2022 to 61, very impressive, in 2025. I tried to do a bit of everything, but my 2 main weaknesses are still visualization and calculation. I'm enjoying the group classes. Sadly, I can't often join the sensei reviews because they clash with the club OTB weekly game. Jesse's visualization class combined with the visualized chessable course have been great, but I still don't have a grasp on the board or a grip. Hopefully Kostya's D4 repertoire can help my game with white. I'm scoring very poorly with that color. David's Najdorf course was great. I'm excited for the Chernev course. That one's starting tomorrow if anyone wants to join. That book was great. Jesse, if you read this, please review one of my games against Julian Chomsky. Okay, I will. So let's go take a look. And Skevix is a very busy man. Look at this. Bam! Look at this guy. Like me, had a little break over Christmas, and then he went right back at it. Right back at it. He's doing a lot. He's doing a lot. He's got a goal of 7 hours a week, and he's hitting it. So, also, his rating, we could argue maybe it wants to go up more, but it's very hard at this level to get it. He is doing the game and review classes. Here you can see his group. This is called the Lasker group, our third group. And this has got some very great people for him to spar with, also very active. Personic is an amazing worker, and he's crushing it. Chess Padawan as well, working really hard. Chess Padawan, actually, he needs to move up to the next group, but he wants to stay in this one for a little bit longer. All right, let's go look at Skevix's games. Oh my God, look at all these games. Now, I'm hoping to find it in my games. And let me look again at what he said. Chomsky. Do we see a Chomsky? There it is. All right. So, time, very good. So you can see his time graph looks very impressive. We'll maybe leave it open just to see what happens here. A lot of times an issue can be that people get to the end game and stop actually thinking too much. Skevix is in the chat. Very nice to see him there. Hello, Skevix. Okay. So as he said, he did David's Najdorf course. And one of the things that I would hope from that course is, the Najdorf is something you could really bludgeon your mind with studying truly deep theory. But more important as a basis is just to get some of the basic ideas. So that's what I'm hoping that he got from this. Bishop g5 is the most popular, let's say, most aggressive move. Good. And now we have this thematic position. This is a position that goes back forever. Yeah. And now b5. Right. So, knight d7, for sure the normal move. And now b5. Let's take a look at his notes. So, e5 is the main question. He says, I didn't miss this move. I just thought bishop b7 was enough. Queen g3. Boom, boom. And then we have a very simple problem, really, that we're getting wasted over here. Knight h5, queen h4, we cannot take because this guy's hanging. And whether bishop b5 works or not, it's still a nasty position for black here. He could, yeah. So, good analysis. Notice that white thought forever on this move, bishop takes b5. Okay. One of the reasons we don't want to go too deep into theory at this level is our opponents, they don't really know it either. That's good, Skevix. I think that's what we do want to do. So now he goes e5. And now this happens. And right, just queen b6. Let's go, well, let's talk about this for a little bit. In addition to queen b6, there's also queen c8. I don't know. Looks fine also for black. Let's look at this one here. All right. This is somehow Stockfish saying that this is unclear. To me, it just looks winning for black. Maybe I'm missing something. But to me, yeah, I don't understand. We're just up a piece. And those pawns, I don't know, it's going to take a while for those pawns to impress me. I'll tell you that. Okay. So, here we go. Bishop f3. What would be important for us to know on this decision, Skevix, is, well, hold on. So, boom, 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 boom. And now both players miss that ed6 wins the piece back. Okay. Notice here, white played too fast. Now, why did I leave my business open on the left? Because they're still thinking, we want to just see how this goes down. So boom, boom, and we've reached our endgame. And what do we think about this? Knight d7. Hard to argue with. Fine. Very interesting position. F5 is a very nice move. Good. So, mistake, loss of time. And you played rook hg8. I will try to go full cocoon, he says. Full cocoon, okay. We might consider something like this as well. All right, here comes full cocoon, F5. He's gone full cocoon, all right. Now it looks like we're lost. And he talks about fe6, but bishop g3, it's still a nasty position for us. Because look, our rook got completely discombobulated over there. So rook g6, I think we have to say is a mistake because you're just missing f5. Now, I think if you are going to play rook g6, you might have to take this thing. It's not a pleasant thing, of course. You know, you got the Irish pawn structure and stuff, but at least now white can't mess with your rook on g6. Still a nasty position for you, but I'd rather do this than put my rook on h6. Right, my rook on h6. Oh no, that ain't it. Bishop g3. Now my rook's toast. All right. I don't know about bishop f4. Notice what he's doing. He's like, he's like touching our rook unnecessarily. There's going to be ways for white to improve his position besides that. Oh, he took our knight. That wasn't it. Rook g7. If anything, it was rook g7. I don't know what he's doing. Okay, good. All right. h6. He wants to play bishop g5. So just notice that white hasn't been focusing on improving their position, really. And you are now starting to do things. So you're going to give a line with d5 where you feel like it's equal, but I'd rather already be black here. He's activated all your stuff, and with a move like d5, you're putting him out of business, right? All right, so here we go. h6, rook e1. That's the sign of a man who doesn't know what the hell's going on. He's like, what am I doing? Why was I here? Fine. Rook d4 check. Now, let's just mention bishop f4 looks very plausible in addition to this. I like bishop f4. Looks more dramatic to me because I want to play d5. I want to cut him from the square. I don't, why did we do that? You had an active rook. Now it's because he wanted that, Jesse. So you missed this move. Okay, good move on his part. Now you talk about d5. Now d5, there's obviously rook e5, but he could also maybe try rook a4. All right. Now are we worse? Probably. Check. I don't know why we're checking. Yeah, bishop c1. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. So he plays b3, and then all of a sudden you're in the business. Now, what was the main thing I was expecting? I was expecting exactly this. When I say this, I mean we're past move 30, and both players are basically stopped. They're not thinking anymore. So this is a very common phenomenon. And it happens all the time with lower rated players. And if they can stop doing it, oh, it's like a magic trick. Because the endgame is going to be harder. It's going to be concrete. It's going to be time for really like deep thinking. And because it feels that way to people, then they just make impulsive moves. Like, what does knight e2 do? I don't know. f4? Oh, that doesn't look right. And here, yeah, you play ef4 in a half a second, and he's giving you the option to put your pawns on dark squares. Oh, my lordy. And light squares. And why? Because then the bishop controls the dark squares. And in the f4 ain't it. In addition to e4, you also could simply play bishop d6 and control the knight. All right, so here we go. He's just moving around. Good. And now you give rook f2 a double question mark. To me, rook f a double question mark is a move that is going to lose or something. And at least intuitively, I still believe you're the one with the nuts after rook takes f2. But okay, I like your variation with rook g1. Good. I don't know about this move. King e5. Good. Good. I don't like what he's doing. And here you're the one who finds d4. You're the one who finds d4. He's the one who put his knight into a shitty situation. Yeah, so king d4, no good. c4, okay, excellent. Knight g3, okay. e3. I got a lot of questions, honestly. And knight takes e2. He would have to have some real endgame knowledge to play knight takes e2. And let's just note this position, standard endgame procedure. You have to have a little knowledge to do that, though. This guy, though, you can tell. He's not even thinking. He ain't even thinking over here, okay? Goodbye. Whoo. Yeah. So good, Skevix. I want to say that was a pretty good-looking game. And, you know, the b5 was a mistake, but you're playing somebody who higher rated too, who doesn't have the ability to really think. That's what I got out of it. There's a couple moments actually thought on that bishop takes b5 and stuff, but then he lost all his steam. Flatlined over here. Okay, good. To say the obvious, as we're going up, we're seeing more and more interesting games. Here we got another person who is doing great. This is the Chess Padawan, also in Skevix's group here. It says he doesn't have any recent games, though. That's hard to believe. So what's going on there? We got USCF 1612. He's crushing. He needs to go into the Capablanca group. That's the next level up for the game in review. And he's just been marching. Look at this thing. He's got it over there. He's in the core dojo or Charlotte dojo. Well, the Chess Padawan's for real. Now what's going on? Why does it say no games? Oh, there's something wrong with it. Okay, hold on. I gotta make a note. And by the way, if earlier I missed somebody because they in fact had games, then please let me know. Because this thing clearly says he has no games. But then, hark, hark, we look and he does have games. So that's a no entiendo right there for me. All right, so here we go. So, all right. Aaron Wilson against this dude. We do have some time crafts. Playing somebody who wasn't thinking long enough. All right, typical stuff. Fine. 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 Controversial. Not developing. All right. Boom, good. And now you played knight c6. Already it seems to me that queen a5, you're better. Makes sense, queen a5. You break the pin, and you free your knight up for knight e4. Gotta be doing great. All right, so knight c6. Here's an interesting moment. I think I would have thought about e takes d5. You took this way. Still an interesting position. And you looked at e5 after the game. You looked at b5 a little bit. Personally, b6 looks very natural to me. I guess b5's a thought. On b5, I am concerned with a4. Notice here, we don't really want to do this to ourselves because the guy, now you just pinned completely. Not fun, right? Not fun. A belated queen a5, we'll call it. Okay. Bishop b7 is the most fancy move. He goes knight d7, d2, and that is maybe an exclam. And he gives this very interesting line here. Boom, 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 boom. But that's a losing position. You're down a piece. Okay. So, a6, a lot of time spent. And then maybe what we should say in the notes is something like, oh, I missed that queen b5, knight d6 was happening to me. This one's a loss, but there is, it's not completely devoid of hope here. Okay, now I want to say I don't understand b4. What are we doing? What are we doing, buddy? No. You need to try to establish some kind of blockading structure. Now, I think technically you're lost, but this is just going to accelerate it. Because he can easily defend this business, and you just gave him the whole business with the A file. He's at least scared. That's good for us that he's scared. That is good that he's scared. Okay, more scaredness. Hey, more scaredness. I don't know what he's afraid of, honestly. 97. Boom, simple chess. Okay. Well, at least you came for him. Check the miserable king. Oh, Aaron, that was a nasty one. Okay. So, one of the things I did in this course, which is maybe a little bit below your level, but what I did in this course that Chessable called Mastering Time in Chess. I wanted it to be called something like It's About Time. And they were like, duh. Anyways, is your opponents will give you tempi. It's just one of the features of where you are right now. They'll give you tempi. And whenever they do, it's time to really try to figure out, like, how do I punish them there, right? So for sure, you should find Queen A5 here. And it's just a very pleasant game, right? Very pleasant game after Queen A5. Then when you got yourself in trouble, I feel some sympathy for this. You know, I can imagine being like, well, now I got to do B6. And then all of a sudden the milk's kind of gone bad. And this one is hard to see, right? Now, arguably, you should have seen it when he played Bishop B5. You should be like, oh, my queen's feeling a little crowded. What's he going to do next? You know? So I get that, and I think you are toast. I don't think Castles is saving you. So I don't see why A6 is a double question mark. I think it's the milk's already gone bad. Okay, so well done. Aaron is making great progress. He's also in the Game and Review group, the Lasker group, having a good time. All right, here's Spork. Spork says, I'm on a mission to find out how good I can get. I like the structured curriculum, but even more I like being part of a supportive community and have active learners. Great. Now, I think a spork is a combination between a spoon and a fork. I think that's what it sometimes is. All right. So, spork. Let's go look at the spork. He's got 11 games, it says, which is quite a bit. All right. Look at that. He played some chess in the 70s. Retired? Okay. Beautiful. And he's making progress. And look at this. Boom. That looks like a New Year's resolution right there. And he is really putting in the work. Yeah. Look at that. 15 hours, 20 hours, 19 hours. Yeah, he's doing it. Okay. Spork, you're doing it right. 15, 16, looking good. Spork, you should consider joining the Game and Review stuff. Oh, man. They're with Padawan and all, you know. All right, 50 plus, lifting heavy things. Lifting heavy things. I just finished recording a video about this club and how it's crushing. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. So it's, again, I did it because this graduation show, I see so many people who are graduating who are doing this club. I'm pretty sure it was 58 half a second ago, too. All right, so games. Here's Mr. Spork. Why does it say 11 and then 7 here? I don't understand. In any case, here is Mr. Spork. And, you know, it looks like he's playing USCF, but the games he's got here aren't. I'm going to try to pick this one, though, because this one looks like an OTB. Do we have times? We do. Look at that. He put it in. So the times look good. All right, let's go game review then. Ba-boom. Fine. Good. Poor move. And now you get scared out of taking the pawn. He does have a lot of development for the pawn. Okay, but you get a totally fine position. And now you don't like bishop g4. I guess I'm with you. You're just setting yourself up to get whacked with knight e5. And I like your improvement too. Now this is scaring me a little bit. Okay. g6, okay. Good. I don't like what white's doing. He calls it the dreaded Pillsbury Knight. Now, it's true he's got the dreaded Pillsbury Knight, but he just also gave himself the dreaded dead bishop. So I think you're doing fine. h4, too much. So this is an example of a player who's not focused on improving his position before he does the wilding. I think the c5 is fine. I'm sure you could have probably also played f6. Now, this is scary because you are allowing knight g6. And maybe you're a genius when you do so, too. Look at what he did. Bang! Exclam. And then he talks about knight e7. Wait, excuse me. Here's the notes, knight e7. Now, one question is, what's happening on king f7? And the answer is terror. The answer is pure terror. Oh, I don't know. Now he's got to check here. He's also got to check here. And I'm scared. But it should be looked at. I don't know. Maybe it should be looked at. It's too much. It might be just too much. So he looks at king h8. Queen e4, and now bishop f1. Okay, let's look. Bishop f1. Now, I think we should probably continue the analysis here, because we do have this little thing. It's hot. We got to believe in black. Got to believe in black. Because if nothing else, that night is so miserable. Yeah. All right, queen e7. Good move. By the way, you are showing some really good tactical flair. And that's how this guy goes down. Good. Simple chess. Simple chess. White resigned here. Oh, that was well done, Spork. That was well done. Good to see a fellow old dude. Now, maybe if you're 65 plus and you played in the 70s, maybe you'll look at a dude like me and call me a young pup. That's what's happened to me before. Old guys, even though I've been around the block a couple times, got some city miles on me, and they'll be like, still, you ain't nothing, buddy. You haven't served your time. Better somebody, call up Steen. It's time to do some simple chess. All right, Spork, welcome to the dojo. You're doing great. Check out our game and profile review. I think you'd really like it. Now here we got AVDS90. He says, going up 3 cohorts in 1 month, I don't really care about my online rapid rating. For me, it is only a practice for my openings and to see what kind of positions I get. Need longer games to think properly and apply the stuff I learn in the cohort. I know I need to annotate my games, but I do review them. What helped me most are the Polgar mates and winning chess strategy. It was the glue that connected the dots for me. I mostly played against stronger opponents, and I come mostly with a playable position out of the opening. Games were mostly decided in the middle game by tactics, so endgames did not get a priority. Now I got better in the middle game, and I can even trade to better or winning endgames, but I still throw away points there. So after simple chess, he's getting a lot of mentions today. I will focus for a time on endgames. What also helped is to go back to lower cohorts to do some work there if I notice some gaps in my play. It's about building a strong foundation instead of doing a little bit of everything and finish books half. I noticed that I'm a lot calmer OTB and playing more positional instead of tactical. But I did also notice that I still have things to unlearn, like moving my pawns to break, because I am a little impatient sometimes. Happy with the structure of the dojo because it gives me a clear direction to build. The funny thing is that I don't focus on my rating anymore, that my playing is going more smoothly. Okay, so congratulations. This is a big graduation. He's over there in the Dutch land, and he's flying up there with the Dutch rating. Beautiful. And looks like he been in the dojo for a while, but just started, excuse me, just started recently here. Maybe a New Year's resolution style thing. Dutch rating much higher than the ChessCom, and he's got a nice FIDE rating too. So FIDE and the Dutch rating looking about similar. Good. Is he in the Dutch dojo? There it is, 38 members. And we got the Note Boom. Note Boom, I'll just tell you a funny story. I think it's a dude, a Dutch dude named Note Boom. But there's a variation called Note Boom. And, it's a very tactical thing. And I thought originally when I was a kid and I heard about the Note Boom, I was like, oh, that's because there was a boom of notes, like so many people taking notes. Yeah. Sporky says, the game and review stuff. So if you go to live classes, we have 2 things going on. We have these lecture classes, and that's part what we call the lecture tier. So there's that. And then we have the game and profile review. And if you do that, you get access also to the lecture tier. And with the game and profile review, it's a very simple system where every week we focus on one of the players in the group. There's usually like 5 to 8 people in there. And they begin by meeting first amongst themselves. And they look at the training of the person under discussion, look at a game of theirs. And then, usually that person already has a little bit of annotations to that game, but they kind of work on it, develop some questions that they have their own. and then they meet with the sensei later in the week. So that's what the Game Profile review is. So far, it's been going great. I've been really enjoying it. Okay, so let's go. Where are we? Let's go back here, and we're gonna look in my games. And let's definitely pick this one. Now he's a nobleman with the Van name here. Now I was praised for my pronunciation earlier by Hubsker, and I don't know if I'm gonna get this one. But we're gonna say Ad van der Sluis. That's my guess. I don't know. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I like to say it though. Ad van der Sluis. Sluis. And he has a much better time rating. Look at that thing. Beautiful time rating. All right, so let's go game review. Pop. We'll get into Van der Sluis. Fine, this is the dojo repertoire. This is a mistake. And he says he's happy to trade off the bishop. Absolutely. And now f4. I think f4 is fine. I think I would prefer d3 first. We're gonna play d3 for sure. Fine. All right. e6, queen e1, knight e7. Now you talk about bishop e3 being the better option. Maybe. I'm liking what you're doing. Bishop d2. I like it. Now, in general, the problem for black here is that in general, black wants to create counterplay on the queen side, but he's just killed himself in a variety of ways. How would he create pressure on the queen side? What does this bishop do? Notice he doesn't even want this pawn here. It's in the way of this bishop every which way. It's in the way of the knight. This knight's dead. So when we look closer at this position, it already looks really bad for black. Okay. I don't know. Good. Little weird. Now, I would say that if you're going to put the rook somewhere, in general, you want to put it here. Right? You are eventually going to attack on the king side. And f5, if it had been playable, would have been a exclam move, because black really does want to try to work to stop you from playing f5 yourself. Unfortunately, boom. Get out of here. Skevix asks, who is also in Holland. He's in the dojo, yeah. Odd is in the dojo. Maybe Skevix, you can get him into their game profile review, because he just wasted this guy using the aggressive system for white. Nice finish. Yeah, we're crushing him here. Good move. Fine. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. It's all very simple now. I don't know if it's a double question mark to take on over there. You know, it's hard to criticize when you're winning this badly. Rook e7, good move. So, well done. Always nice to see the aggressive repertoire winning. Winning, yeah. All right, great. So, next up, we have Gökhan. Oh, yeah, buddy. Gökhan, are you in the chat, bud? We just had a game and profile review with him. And so he's been marching up there. Really cool to see him get up to 1700, 1800. Let's go over and take a look. So he's up there, 17, 14. Look, he's just flying up. And as you can see, he is crushing it since the beginning of the year as well. Your message got lost. Okay. You can send me the message on Discord or whatever if you want. So beautiful. You know, he's been doing the lectures and now the game and profile review. Hopefully, actually, too. He's a developer. He's going to hopefully help us some with our dev projects, of which we have so many. So really cool to have him on the game and review, and maybe even, you know, helping out with the dojo site. All right, so clubs. He's got that Turkish Delight Chess Club in Ankara. Nice. Now, who is in the Turkish Delight Club? Let's go take a quick look. Cartier Tank. Now, we haven't seen that guy in forever. We haven't seen him forever. He was at the very beginning of the dojo. Very beginning, before we had the training program, anything like that. He also went by the name of Sombrero. So that's cool to see that name. I haven't seen him around in the longest time. Sometimes we had him on the stream and he'd show up and he'd be smoking and stuff. It brings back memories. The dojo's been around already a long time. All right, here we go. Games. He's got a bunch of games. And tell me, Guga, which one should I be looking at here? Which one should I be looking at? Sent on Discord. Okay. So. Okay, I'm just going to read it from the Discord he sent me. Dojo has helped me stick through books. Usually I would do some chapters on the book and hop into the next one. My chess idol is Alekhine, and I'm trying to play dynamic, aggressive chess. However, during our review session, I have noticed I am doing so many lazy moves, and this actually repeats through all my 6 games in the tournament. With the Queen B3 we discussed in the session, I could have gained the initiative so much earlier. For this, I will log my time info to see when I default to natural moves and try to respect each move of the game in the next tournament. My goal was 1800 FIDE for the year, so I will update it to 1900 FIDE and see how it goes. And then we have this game that I'm going to pull up here. Ba-bam. I visit site, yes. Okay. So, it's not, we don't have times. That's okay. We'll go game review. And he is playing black. Let me just get this set up. Boom. All right, so here we go. C5. Okay. G3. Right, in the course I give for white, I give the move D4. And now we're in the more traditional Grand Prix attack for white. Now notice, we actually did in our review today, we had a different game by David where he was white. And here we can see the power of how powerful it would have been if white could have traded this thing off instead of sticking him here. It's not the worst piece there, but it's also not clear how it's going to help in the attack on the king side. Also different from the game is here black has a clean look at the d4 square, which is his key pivot square. Okay, black can do a lot of different things here. To me, knight f6 feels the most natural. You played e6. And then rook b8. Interesting. Okay, interesting position. And you are playing very aggressive chess. Here you're saying, I don't care. I don't care about anything. Now, one thing I want to share is I kind of like what you're doing. I have some sympathy with what you're doing, though it's very dangerous. I also want to say that, first of all, bishop h6 isn't the greatest move ever from white and should only really be played if he's actually going to mate you, because that's his good bishop on e3. That's his good bishop. And it costs him a tempo to play knight e7 or bishop h6. So first of all, I don't want you to worry about it. Clearly, you've been obsessed from this position already. You're like, I'm not playing knight f6. No way am I going to let him do that to me. And then also, I just want to mention, if we are going to just sit on our butts here, h5 is an interesting move. Because it really asks the question, are you going to let me play h4? I don't think he should let you play h4, at least not easily. You know, that's a real h-pawn over there. In any case, here we go. a5, f4, knight e7, and now rook b1, you give a funky move. Mark, you should tell us what you like instead. I think c3 is interesting, for example. A simple plan for white that would be interesting is c3 followed by d4 and just say, you know what, I control more space than you do. Good move. All right. And now he plays g5, which is no bueno. And I think gf5 has to be the right move. And here you would have a little bit of a choice that's not easy. GF would be the natural move, but then you got to have to contend with knight g3. And maybe we don't like it that much, you know. Right. And EF, he can say he's got maybe some more center punts. He could still play knight g3 after that and maybe be mildly better. Okay, but in any case, g5. Biggest feature of this move is that it's a loss of time and it's not doing anything to you. All right, this would be nice to see some times here. You go ahead and say, I'm hopping in. Now, I just want to stress, you're not in any hurry, and we should also at least think about the move bishop a6 and tending c4. All right, you hop it in. He takes. Gökhan, maybe a couple more words here about why these things are wrong. I would say he just gave you his good bishop. That's what I would say about that position. And now you have clear play against the c pawn. He don't have time to mate you. No, 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 no. All right, queen b6. Gives you a tempo. e5. Reasonable. Bishop b7 you also put in there. It was just my first instinct. All right, good. And notice he's just on the back foot completely here. Queen c5. And you talk about d5. Also just symbol rook bc8. He looks lost to me. Okay. Look, he can't give up the ghost. One of the problems that black or white is facing here is that it's honestly a little hard to know what to do for the guy, first of all. But second of all, you can feel at various points in the game that he's like, well, if I don't know what to do, I'm going to launch it. But if he doesn't have the power to back it up, it's generally a bad idea. And now you play d5. You're the ones creating the drama here. And it's very natural. I believe in this for you. Yeah, no, it has to be okay. Because the only problem would be if this move were good. If this move were good, then I would have a problem with d5 because you just killed your bishop. But look at that knight. And then you missed knight g4. But yeah, knight e3 looks devastating right here. I mean, after knight e3, I don't even think I want to take the rook on f1. I'm just going to sit there, and say, what? What? All right, so that's a bummer move. This is where we'd really like to see some timestamps. And then here, yeah, you got to go g7 or something. Or consider rook b e8. Good move. So notice, he didn't even think you were going to take. He was thinking materialistically instead of saying to himself, oh, I don't have any good pieces here. Here I'd want you to consider knight e3. Queen f4, and you say exclam. Yep. Oh, nice one, buddy. Nice one. That's what he gets. Welcome to the dojo. Check. Oh, yeah, look at that knight. We're just dancing around him. H5, that's just nothing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's not going to help. Look at that. We're just killing this guy. Boom. Boom. Very nice, Kuka. Very nice. Whew. So I think what we want to say actually here is very important. You're playing a 1770. You made one tactical oversight, but in general, we want to say you understood the positional elements much better than your opponent. Yeah. So, I think, yeah, I mean, yeah, that was great. That was great. Good annotations. Oh, yeah, I'm really happy with that. Okay, well done, Gukam. Well done. You're going up. He's going up, man. He's going up. There he is with the ratings. And, yeah, well, maybe, we're going to work. He's going to get up there. 1714 FIDE. That's no joke of a rating. All right, let's continue. We've got two people who might not have games. Let's just see what's going on. This is Old Gunner, the Old Gunner. Let's see what's going on. So he's an old dude from Norway. So got a main tournament in July, the National Championship for Seniors. Okay, let's give this guy a follow as a fellow old dude. So, and he streams classical games, huh? Okay. 1815, looking great. And his chess.com is actually not matched with the FIDE. That's an interesting thing, especially for us old guys. It might be a harder thing to be playing online. All right, let's see what the clubs. He's got the 50 plus, and he's almost ready for the 65 plus. And then he's going to be maybe winning the Swedish championship, or Norwegian championship, excuse me. So, started at age 28. He's doing great. No games, though. So, Old Gunner, dude, put in some games. Put in, so show us some stuff about what's going on here, too. Come back. You were so busy at one point. And we got some old dudes in the game profile review. Highly recommend. Be cool to see a fellow old guy in there, too. All right. Now, we just got put up on chess.com or something like that because it says we have 1,800 people viewing. We don't have 1,800 people viewing. And that just means that chess.com put us up there. In any case, chess.com, I will say this is the graduation show. I do this generally every Wednesday. Today is obviously Thursday. Sometimes if we have a bunch of people, or if I don't have the time to finish on Wednesday, boom, I'll go to Thursday. We got one more today, and that's the Paprika dinosaur. Paprika dinosaur is way up there, man. He's way up there. Doesn't say much. I have a feeling we're not going to see too much from the Paprika dinosaur. We're going to give him a follow. And beautiful FIDE rating. And sporadic work in the dojo. Obviously, it would be cool to have him be a little bit more active. Tell us where he's from. That would be nice. A lot of times I'll look at clubs and they'll say, I'm from, Norwegian or whatever. He does have some games in here. Maybe they're old, though. So let's just give this a click. Well, Blackpool Open 2026. We got loads of games. So this guy, too, our new thing isn't working. Our new thing. I wouldn't bore you, but we have... Anyways, I'm not going to bore you with it. Here we go. Let's take a look at this game by the Paprika dinosaur. Boom. All right. First game I wasn't late to. All right, let's see. He does put the clocks in. Now, I can tell you exactly what happened here. He started marking the times, like, instead of on move 1, he did a little later, and that's why the time graph isn't showing like a time management rating. So that's just something that you can jadoob, and it'll give you the proper rating. But the graph itself looks reasonable. It's actually also kind of weird. I think he didn't put the time control in. That's another thing that's going on. All right, let's hit game review. All right, here we go. Fine. Frisky, but fine. And I actually like this position a lot for black, or for white rather, but I like the way white played it here too. Now on DC4, the challenging move is knight e5. That's what Kasparov has done on a couple of occasions. Very interesting position. All right, queen a4. Boom. And then you play b5. And he blows it with queen takes b5. Boom. Boom. Now he sacks a queen. So the bummer that black is experiencing all of a sudden is he doesn't have a way to defend e2 without bishop b5 coming. In fact, he doesn't even have a spot, at least not a natural spot. Maybe he could try queen b7 if he was gonna. I don't know. It's still a hard road. Yeah. Okay, so this was a nice opening trap. He sacks the queen. It looks definitely completely lost. And then here, knight d5. You say the knight's got to go. Boom. Boom. Now, I'm sure a takes b. Well, a takes b would allow knight c7. So here we take this way. And now you play bishop d6. Now, generally, when I see that inaccuracy d4 was best, that's generally Lee Chess speak. So I read that, I'm like, oh, this was put through the Lee Chess engine or something. Yeah. Bishop d6 is a very human move. So, we give the pawn back, but we get the castle. And he's like, I don't know, he's maybe correct. He's like, well, if I have any shot, it's like maybe I shouldn't even take the thing. And you're like begging him to take it. Now, you could probably play rook b8, no problem, All right, finally takes it, sinks his knight into you. Don't fall for knight e7, bishop f8. All right. So now, white has definitely improved his lot in comparison to when this sacrifice first happened. Rook d8. Okay. And now knight e3. Now, one tricky thing about this position is we have a real problem with the knight being strong on d5. If he goes to c4, though, he's also going to be strong. Funnily enough, there was a game today. I think it's Gukesh versus Keimer. And mildly similar. In that game, there's a pawn on d6 and knight on c4. Similar piece distribution. Okay, cry. Don't get distracted. In any case, if we're going to win this thing, we need to create a weakness, and ultimately I don't think we want to trade with the rooks because he's got two rooks and they're kind of doing the same thing. So just intuitively, I would want to play something like rook e8 or maybe even a5 right now. All right, rook d8. e4, of course, is a natural move for white. He plays knight e3. You do this. And then king f1 is a little weird. All right. And taking's weird. And you play g5. We should probably talk about that a little bit. Queen d5. Oh yeah, f takes g4. I don't know f takes g4. So let's read what you write. You write h5. Now I gotta say h5 is not the first thing that comes to mind. After queen h1, king f2, queen h2, king f3, I was scared that my queen has no way home. I thought sure I have h5, but it felt unclear to me. It was difficult to hold the position. Honestly, fatigue and failing stamina in the final round was playing a part too, for him as well, I'm sure. After d3, the game felt too hard to win anymore. He found all the right moves to create some kind of fortress. Yeah. So, let's look first at h5 is a computer move, but let's first look at the human thing here. And let's just say something obvious. If the queen, I don't see how the queen's going to get trapped, first of all. But if we're going to win this game, right, we need some kind of weakness. And now, with queen h1, we have it. So first of all, even if we don't play h5, he's not he is not knocking us out. There's no like rook h1 gonna mate us or anything. And to me, the main point of h5 is just to open up some squares for the queen. As a general rule of thumb, once we get this kind of dynamic of the queen either versus a rook or a rook and a piece or something, the real question I found is, will the opponent's king be weak or not? In the candidate cycle 2 times ago, it was the game Duda playing white against Nepo, and Nepo had the queen. And I was doing commentary with GM Eugene Perelstein, and we were kind of going back and forth if white had enough, and then we were slowly like, oh, the king is loose. The king, it's about the king, it's about the king. And then I came up with that rule. So d3, and now you can't play queen h1. Good move by your opponent. Good move again. All right, so now, computer says bishop f4, though indeed, I mean, rook e2 is definitely the human move. Because here, it really feels like it's going to be hard for you. Because the white king is relatively safe. Rook e8 honestly feels a little too frisky to me. If he's going to sit there, he should sit and not get too fancy with the rook e8s of the world. Now he correctly goes back. And now your computer... See, I don't like, by the way, let me just say, when we do annotations, it's fine to ask the computer after. But this kind of thing is just distracting. We want to know what you think in this position. To me, king h7 is a very natural move. If queen f5 is best, then we need some kind of explanation why. So it's talking about h4. Now, why is it saying this? It's like it kind of wants, at some point, it wants you to play queen h3, I guess. There it is, and it's saying queen h3. But h4 is not a human move. Now, here you definitely should fight on. You should definitely fight on. Because it's so hard for white to hold this thing together. As someone who's tried to hold this kind of thing together before. At some point, you can try to arrange h5, h4, that kind of thing. Yeah. So yes, I think white can hold this, but you should never agree to a draw in this position. Okay, my friends, this has been the Chess Dojo training program. Graduates, we're usually here every Wednesday. We are here every Wednesday. Sometimes we're here Thursday if we do more. We also have these new live classes. It's been really cool. That's the Game and Profile Review. It's a small group. People, we look at a person's training and a game of theirs every week. We also have the lectures. Tomorrow, I'm beginning, this thing isn't even updated here. I'm beginning tomorrow a class on the Irving Chernoff book, Logical Chess Move by Move, which is a very good, let's call it first book of strategy. Okay, I'm going to rate somebody. I will be around next Wednesday. I got to rate someone named Uncle Jesse, right? That's got to be the person. I don't know this person, but I feel like I'm Uncle Jesse. I feel like that's who I am, right? Come on, Uncle Jesse. Give me a break, buddy. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Do I just resign?